Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Nigeria is deceiving her citizens, including you watching me, unless you have made up your mind that you have nothing to do with what is going on or you have nothing to do with the country. If you are in this geographical area, Nigeria, and you were born and brought up from the rural area, when I mean rural area, from the village, when I mean village, it's not just a typical village, also developing villages. If you were born and brought up from those areas, come on, you don't know what it means to have a nation. You don't know what it means to have a country. You don't know the meaning of citizen. Many Nigerians don't know the meaning of citizenship up to today because no hospital in their village where they were born and brought up, and they are already 25 years. They have not left the village. When it comes to school, the school is in shambles, nothing to write about it. You come to see the rate of insecurity in that village, and they were born and brought up from that place. They will be thinking that, oh, this is the way life is. They never knew that there is something called human right. There is something called security from the government, the protection of lives and property. They don't know anything about that. It's not their fault. And that is why we continue to let people know what is going on. Recently, what do they call them? ISWAP, Boko Haram. All these people, they are just one people. Forget about all these names, okay? So you saw what they did to Borno base, where the military base are. They killed so many soldiers and so on and so forth, and all has been going on. Now, after they did that, one would think that, okay, the military will reinforce and go after them or to get ready for maybe another similar attack like that. They didn't. Now, you see this, it's in a green light. You see these things, these photos you are seeing, you might think that this is a movie. But these things are not movie. These are real life photo taken by these people. Look at the things they raided in the Joint Task Force in the same state. In the same state, Borno State. Look at it. Look at it, okay? Just imagine. And this is a state that has a lot of people in the government. This is a state that they have transferred so many soldiers to. And look at what is going on. Now, I want to, say my mind, okay? The truth is that Nigeria is not telling her citizens the truth. We are living in illusion, in falsehood. And we are thinking that tomorrow things could go well. Why things is getting worse? Have you ever seen somebody that they will throw stone up? You will be looking at that stone. The stone will be coming down on your head. And you will just stand be looking at the stone. The stone is coming. That is the situation Nigeria is now. The stone has already been thrown up and it's fallen. It's fallen. It's fallen. Everybody is just looking at it. The politicians, the people who threw the stone up, they have bunker. They are already shaded. And if the stone fall, it might not even touch them. But the citizens that don't know anything, instead of them to go and remove the bunker, let the stone fall on everybody or chase them out of the bunker and enter the bunker so that the stone will fall on them. You know what they are doing? They are still guiding the bunker. This is going to be devastating. For those people who understand this parable, we get it. Now, let's look at the article from Sowore Reporters, which says that the ISWAP terrorists raid Civilian Joint Task Force office in Borno hours after attack on Nigeria military base. It reads that the Islamic State West African Province ISWAP militant group has claimed responsibility for a recent attack on a civilian joint task force base in Borno State. According to a statement released by the group, they seized various weapons including 7.62 times 39mm AK magazines and ammunitions during the raid. The statement also included photos showing ISWAP members firing indiscriminately at the base. Out of the article. Another thing that baffles me is that I am wondering, how did these ISWAP people, because these people are well coordinated. Anytime they are carrying out operation, you know what they do? They will be videoing the operation. The coverage of the operation is what baffles me. And after they have a platform on TikTok, they will put it there. So these people are operating like a government. When Israel will now go after Hamas and all those people, they will film it. They will video it and publish it. That is just what we are seeing in Nigeria. And now, it's not the Nigerian army that are doing this. The terrorists is doing it against Nigerian army. Before, I used to hear that police used to raid a place, military go and they raid a place, they raid. But now, the terrorists are the one raiding them. Let's tell ourselves the truth that the terrorists has taken over Nigeria, that Nigeria has become a terrorist domain, a terrorist state, and the North has made all these terrorists a safe haven. There is no two ways about it. And the effect now is being leveled against almost every Nigerian. Now, the article continues. So this comes hours after the terror group killed a yet to be confirmed number of Nigerian soldiers, with some still reportedly missing following an attack on a forward operating base in the Dambo and local government area of Borno State. The sources added that the terrorists razed many buildings and military operational vehicles during the attack that lasted over 2 hours. Now, all these attacks that has been out of the article, all these attacks that have been happening in these areas. Another thing that makes me laugh is, you see, all these attacks, they are not being repaired, or it's not like an attack that happened, boom, and they will run away. These people will come, fire shot for 2 hours. You know what it means by 2 hours? People are firing shot for 2 hours, killing people, chasing people away for 2 hours. If Nigeria is a country, 30 minutes is enough for Air Force to come with their, assisting the military on ground. 30 minutes is enough for Air Force to activate and strike. But do we have Air Force? We only have Air Force when it comes to, minor things anyway. If it is in the Okoma community in Delta State now, they'll flash muzzles and kill the innocent people. If it is in the Southeast, they will do the same. The article continues. 25 Task Force BDE was attacked during the weekend. With so many casualties so far, we have recovered over 7 bodies, a source told Shara reporters. This is insane. The terror group invaded the camp, FOB Sabogiri, around 4 a.m. on Saturday using various weapons. ISWAP, in a statement on Monday, claimed responsibility for the attack. The group claimed that its members killed many soldiers while 2 armored tanks and 10 armored vehicles were burnt. The recent action may be a move by the sect to counter the Nigerian military claim that Islamic insurgent fighters are retreating. This comes after the President Bola Tinubu stated in October 2024 that his administration was making unprecedented progress in the war on terror and banditry, with the elimination of many Boko Haram and bandit commanders within the first year of his administration. So they are countering what people are saying. After all, they are dying. When CDS will tell the Qatar journalists that they have, recorded enough sources, where is the sources coming from? We are living in falsehood. Nigeria love falsehood so much. The Nigerian military has also reported that many insurgents have surrendered. Since the death of JS leader Abubakar Shekau, ISWAP has been consolidating its grip in location around Lake Chad. The sect membership has swollen with the defection of hundreds of Boko Haram fighters under Shekau. The end of the article. Don't let anyone to deceive you further about the situation of this country. In the rural villages, we can't go there anymore. Many places is already under siege. If for example, now the land mass of Nigeria, the square meter is 100. Let me use an example. I think the terrorists are operating up to 80% of them. Yeah. Because we have more, unused lands, virgin lands, where they were cultivating, farmlands. All these areas, people can't access it any longer. That is one of the most terrible things we are seeing today. But who are their sponsors? What are they doing to them? Nothing. But Mandami is there telling them that if they had known under Buhari that they could have poisoned Nnamdi Kanu, maybe they made a mistake for bringing him into Nigeria. And up to today, anybody who says I want to leave Nigeria, they tag him enemy. But who cares? Who cares? Nobody will have their own right senses and continue to believe in a country that don't protect them. Everywhere insecurity. The country don't protect you. So what is the essence of trying to believe the country? No, things are not done in that way, okay? There is no need to believe a country that gives you all the whole evidence not to believe. Look at the death. So many things going on. And we think that maybe one day things could... If you are doing the same thing and expecting the different result, you are like a madman. It's only a madman that will continue to do one thing and expect different result. So use your tongue to count your teeth. That is all I have to tell you.
Tell ourselves the truth. What is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. You know, we don't mention it. That is the bottom line. The Fulani man feels anytime he comes to town, he's molested, he's killed. The Hausa man believes that the Fulani man, using his headsmen, enters his farm and destroys his crops. So it's been a long time, I'm sure you're aware, it's been a long time issue that had not been addressed. So it's a political issue that should have been settled before. It had been allowed until it evolved to what it is today. Now, acts of criminality now came in. When acts of criminality came in, they felt that now, because the borders, you know, I mentioned the issue of porous borders where weapons are moving in and out, and that's why they felt that, yes, since their cows are being attacked, they too should be protected. And that's why you see major of them carrying arms. And before you know it, those that didn't have cows started into acts of armed robbery, small stealing, until it graduated to what it is now. Then the Boko Haram, with the hit they got in the Northeast, a lot of them moved. So it's a convergence of criminality that has come together to build up to what the acts of banditry. And the only way they make money is what? Kidnapping. When they kidnap, they make money. Now, the state governments, yes, in order to address that, I personally support civilian JTF. We use them effectively in the Northeast. But how did we apply them in the Northwest? What we did, the communities were the ones that identified youths that had character, you know, that were reliable, that were honest. They brought out those names, gave the state government brought them in, profiled them with the police and the DSS, the State Security Service, and then they were now handed over to the military. They were trained with the mandate to protect their communities, not to go and attack any other person. Because one, the military, the armed forces, we are not many, we can't be everywhere. There is no country that have security forces everywhere. So their own intent is, the mandate for them is protect your community while the main forces are coming. So you delay them until that. And that's how we have used them. And frankly speaking, they've given us a lot of, because one, they know the areas very well. They know the area, they can tell you where IEDs are, which routes are clear and all this. And so we use that correct. But what we found out in the Northwest is a lot of this were not done. And the danger is, don't ever allow a training to be viewed, the perception of that using one ethnic group. Like I told you from beginning, the issues were Hausa, Fulani. Now, if you have civilian JTF that is only Hausa, what would the Fulani feel? He will feel threatened. And that is what is causing the problem. If you sit down now to look at in Kasina State, how many have been killed so far? Because one, they operate in Northeast, they operate with the security forces. There is no operation they don't go together. So the security forces will give them that experience and the tactics to use. In this other area, they want to go alone. And you know that they've started also vendetta, starting to also settle personal scores. So they've derailed from the main objective of protecting their communities to settling personal. Some of them now have started settling land issues, marital issues, things that are not part of what they are supposed to do, because again, they were not controlled.
On the issue of the Northwest crisis, CDS, you know, you say you didn't mention it. It's a delicate, you know, it's a delicate thread or delicate line to discuss about the Hausa Fulani issue. If you ask me what is the difference between Hausa and Fulani, I'm an Hausa Fulani man. Most of the gentlemen you see here, they are Hausa Fulanis. Perhaps when we listen to the efforts of Kasina State tomorrow or thereabout, the deputy governor or with the commissioner for internal security will be able to tell us what is it really. But you know, our moral values have decayed. From our roots, the traditional leadership system has been eroded. You can see back home what happened. the traditional rulers have been made to look, next to nothing. And they play a significant role. While growing, I never gave them a space. I was never their fan. But, when I grew into an adult, I got to realize that, yes, they contribute a lot to the security of our local communities, which also speak to the issue of, community policing.
So virtually almost everyone. And I also want to appreciate the fact that the herder-farmer clash laid the foundation of where we are today. Of course, there was that crisis before. But what is happening today is criminality, and the issue of control of resources has also set in. We have abundant mineral resource, and most of the illegal mining activities that is going on in the country, particularly the northwest region. We have support for external factors over control of illegal mining activities, particularly in Zamfara and Kasina state. So much abundance of gold, lithium, name them all, we have them. And part of what we did to ensure that we support the security and try to deal with the criminality issue, we look at all that has been going on, inadequate resources, personnel and whatever, on the part of the conventional security forces. And we have no option than to come up with a homegrown initiative or involve the locals to protect themselves. The recruitment process we went through was one that is supposed to be done even by the conventional security forces. Because no politician was involved in the recruitment process, we started with 8 frontline local governments, where we recruited 1,466 personnel. And the imams, the traditional rulers, and all the other opinion leaders were involved in vetting the people that we selected. And the training we gave them was a normal conventional training, because we have some retired military officers from the state who volunteered to train them along with the military training. So we deployed them back to their communities, and we have a joint operations. I want to admit that even if there is no synergy anywhere between the security forces and the locally trained vigilante or whatever we have it in Kasina state, we enjoy the support of all the security forces. I personally, as a deputy governor, I coordinated the entire security operations, which we conducted at least for a period of 1 month to allow our people to go to farms. The military, the DSS, the police, all of them were involved. And we are monitoring weekly the performance, and we made sure that there's absolute synergy and control by the security forces on what the operations that was carried out by the Security Watch Corps. So also, we didn't even stop at the connected approach. We also look at the non-connected approach. We realized the role this traditional institution can play into this. For the first time, we recruited 6,652 ward heads and put them on payroll in Kasina state, just to support the security architecture. Apart from those that we recruited and trained under the community watch corps, because virtually Kasina is more than 90% Muslim population, so we also had to involve the ulamas, the religious leaders. We have 2,550 mosques in Kasina state. We made sure that we recruited at least 3 people, the imam, the assistant imam, and the ladan. We put them on payroll, and they are also assisting us in preaching against this violence and other criminal activities. And they form part of the community security committees across the state. So these are some of the things that I feel that I should share with the Chief of Defense Staff and other people that happens to be around. And most of the other initiatives that we have done, I'll address it in my presentation tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me. This has been a very exciting session, and I couldn't have asked for a more eloquent and elaborate panel. General Musasa and Professor Prinsloo, could we put our hands together as a show of appreciation of a very, very well articulated panel discussion. I think we can break off now and